All right, a big update here this morning. An Avon daycare is now facing new lawsuits from two families who claim their children were sexually assaulted by a former worker as well.
That former worker is in jail right now, facing multiple sexual assault charges. Your reporter Taylor Knight is live in Avon, breaking down the lawsuits and what they mean for families. Good morning.
The attorneys who filed these two new civil lawsuits represent at least 83 other families. They're calling for more transparency from BrightPath Avon. Former BrightPath Avon daycare worker John Carlos Barrios Otero is charged with sexually assaulting 5 young boys between the ages of 3 and 5 during nap time. Barrios Otero started working for BrightPath Avon in January of 2022. We also know that he filled in at the Simsbury, Windsor, and West Hartford locations, but dates he was at those locations have not been provided. Lawyers representing the victims and their families say these two new lawsuits are just the beginning of their effort to uncover the full scope of what happened here. They say they want to figure out what BrightPath and its parent company Busy Bees knew, when they knew it, and whether adequate safeguards were in place to protect children. The BrightPath location you see behind me here shut down 2 weeks ago. We did contact BrightPath for a statement in response to these two new lawsuits. They said they're working on getting us one. Your reporter live in Avon, Taylor Knight, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.